Hello listeners, I'm Carla and I'm presenting you the project Better Together. Better Together is a project created by Curba de Cultură and co-financed by the Embassy of Netherlands in Romania, and it's part of a group of different kind of projects related to human rights. This one, in particular, aims to raise awareness about what is domestic abuse, how youngsters can recognize it, and where they can ask for help in case they are living this. As part of this project, we are going to make a set of different podcasts talking about this topic and what it englobes. We will have the participation of different persons in every podcast, mostly the local and the international volunteers that are already involved in the project. Today we have with us...
Hello, my name is Roberto. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Spain and I am an international volunteer for Curba de Cultură.
Hi, my name is Israt. I come from Italy. I'm 19 years old and I'm also an international volunteer.
Hello, my name is Sebi. I'm from Romania and I'm 17 years old and I'm a local volunteer for Scopul de Cultură.
Hello, I'm Eliza. I am 16 years old. I'm from Romania and I am a local volunteer.
So now that you know who the persons are talking today here, I would like to introduce you the topic of today, that is the 8th of March. As you may know, this day is celebrated in different ways around the world, and some places or persons even dedicate the full month to raise awareness about the role that women play in the world. And do you know, guys, why this day is celebrated?
Yes. So, the 8th of March is celebrated because of a long process in history. We start in the start of the 20th century in United States, where a factory in New York had burned down, and 130 women got injured or killed during this accident. And this is only the start of a lot of protests by women who ask for human rights and a better salary and shorter working times.
And how do you celebrate, or what do you do in your countries for the 8th of March?
In Romania, we give flowers to the women.
And for example, for me in Spain, normally we make more kind of manifestations in the street. Normally the women should stop to buy, to work. Is a kind of manifestation to see how the people, to see how the society stops if the woman stops. And also the manifestations, it depends in around all Spain. But for example, in my case, in Santiago de Compostela, is that we make a manifestation only for women in the middle of the day, and after we make a mixed one in the end of the day.
In Italy, women receive a flower called the mimosa, which is small and yellow, and it's a symbol of strength. And besides this, they also receive other gifts, but that's not something more common. And there are also cultural events like in theater or social centers where and even in school where the people discuss about why this day is celebrated and what importance it had in history and in our contemporary times.
For me, or at least how I was learned, this day usually goes to the mother, where you as a child go to your mother and say the good things or the things that you are grateful for her, and also give her a small gift. It's not usual. You don't have to take something that it's like has a lot of price, but something that means something to her or to you.
Okay. So we saw here that there's a lot of different kinds of and ways of celebrating this day. And do you think that it's important day to take in account, like for the rest of the society, even though like you celebrate it in different ways?
I think it is an important day to celebrate and to take in account because we should not ever forget the history surrounding what kind of rights the women have in contemporary society, because there has been a lot of battles to come here and it's such a long process that it should never be forgotten.
Yeah, for me also is important not only for the historical background, it's also because nowadays we have still to battle for women rights, even for salary difference, even for difference in the work, in the boss, who is the boss, who has the power, even in the streets, in different cultures, we have to basically still working on it, and this day for me is a kind of way to work and to battle for that.
And do you guys think that celebrating this day it's useful? Like it's making change somehow, some way?
I mean, in my opinion, it's a good way that we celebrate this day, but we have to see it if in different countries. Like we have the Spain and the Italy part, but in Romania over here we don't see those type. And I know a lot of people that want to celebrate this but don't do it in the goodest way, and I think it's a good activity to do, or a good thing at all.
Yes, because we are more sensitive than boys, and I think the good words and these days makes us to feel more happy and to give us the chance to be more visible.
I think it's an important day still, because in Italy I see a lot of youngsters that are so tired of hearing about the 8th of March that it lost its meaning, and we should, as a society, I think that we should make the effort to understand why this kind of thing exists, and it just cannot be removed, or else you are removing a part of history, and also a part of what is still going on in in contemporary times.
Yeah, I am agree with you also. Like is for me is super important day, even if you have to work on it during all the year and not only one day, but still have one day that makes visible around all the world. This movement is amazing, and it's like super useful also for the youngsters that are coming, that they are going to be our future, also the kids and all the people that are not taking care about the human rights, and and in specific the women rights, and is still they super important for take the voice louder and for fight for the women rights.
For me personally, I think that yes, it's important to keep celebrating this day because it's a way of reminding the world that we are still here, that we are still existing, and we still don't have the same rights as the other half of the world. So yeah, it's really important day to take in account. And I don't know, like, would you like to celebrate it this day? If you could like change something, or like to propose something that you will know that the rest of like the society is going to follow you, how would you change this day?
I mean, I would change the things in Romania to be like the Spanish or the Italian things, like a whole day off for women's, and a lot of manifestation in the streets. But it depends on the people, because I've saw a lot of manifestation that didn't go very well. They like break cars, whole magazines and things like that, and it should be a whole day to celebrate the woman and the women's and the things that they did for us and the whole society.
Yes, I think I have the same opinion.
I think that we should be more aware of what is happening around the world, because we only get the vision of what is happening, at least for me, in the western part of Europe and in the Western world itself, and we in this context, yes, women have more rights than countries, for example, Bangladesh, where, or any other country that is not included in this context. And I think it is the best way to acknowledge that this problem still exists and it is not going away.
Yeah, for me, if I could change something, for example, in Spain, that normally the organizations ask to the women to stop to work. The problem is that they cannot, because basically they are working for a company and the company say like you have to work. So for me, it could be like super nice that the company say to the women that you can stop to work without any repercussion with your salary, etc. To give them the chance to basically disappear and to show, to show that is real, that if the woman disappeared, the society stops. And it's like a big relevant role that the woman has.
Connecting to this argument, yeah, I completely agree with you, and I want to let's say talk about the fact that this has happened in Iceland in 1975, where a lot of women started to protest, and they left their the housework at home and not taking care of husband and kids, and for one day, and they saw how impactful this was in the society, that like the work that women do, it has a meaning, it has an importance, but it shouldn't be only the responsibility of women. It also has to be a responsibility of any adult, even the husband or the partner.
Continuing a bit with this topic and this argument, I would like to ask you, like, because like the society and the world changed from the time that our grandmas were our age to now. Like, what do you think that your grandmas would say if you would have told them, like when they were our age, that the world was going to change that much? Do you think that they were going to believe you?
Probably my grandma would not have believed me, because in her days, she told me that she had a lot of work to do because the whole family was counting on her, because her salaries were lower than my grandfather's, even though they were worked the same job, and she had to take 2 jobs and also, I don't know, like take care of the kids, and they were like a big family. It's not really think that she probably didn't think that the world would change this way in these moments, and probably the world that we know now will change in a good way when we'll see.
Yeah, for me, for example, I think that one of my grandmothers, yes, she is super open-minded and she is super nice, really. And but for the other part, I think that no, like my other grandparents are still like super traditional in way of life, let's say that. And basically they keep still the woman for house, the men for work, and the money for the men. The men has like the money power and the power for take decisions in home and this stuff, and the woman basically has to cook and to make the workhouse, and I think that is like that for me.
In my case, my grandparents they only wouldn't not believe me, but they wouldn't be able to understand the concept that I am talking about, because in their times it didn't exist. My grandparents are Bangladeshi, not Italian, and the context is much different. And they can't understand or can't imagine what is going around the world right now, considering human and women rights. So it is also something that when you grow up for 60 years believing in something, it is just something that you just can't understand. And it feels like it gets lost in translation what you are trying to say.
For me, I'm totally agreed with Roberto, because my grandma is a traditional one, so all she knows about this word is woman for making food and stay with kids and do something at home, and men's at work.
For me, for example, I'm kind of lucky to say that both my grandmas were like kind of open-minded when they were young, so maybe they would like take time to like realize what I would be like talking to them, but I think that they would be like super open-minded and just accepting that and just waiting for it to come. And I don't know, it pops to my mind that something like one thing that if you were able to change right now, you would have the power of changing something related with human rights, women's rights right now. Like you want to change something and it's going to be changed, what it would be?
For me, I think that is the social status that the men has in the society. Like how the people see that, okay, it's a man has to be a boss, and the woman always behind.
I totally agree with Roberto. I think what I would like to change is the way we perceive patriarchy, or patriarchy itself is something that I think it should be abolished.
So I think that it's all for today. Keep track on our social medias, Curba's Face, Curba's Instagram, and YouTube. And we will announce you when it's going to be the next podcast and which is going to be the topic. I hope you enjoy it. We enjoyed a lot doing it. And I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact the email that is going to be in the comments part. And have a nice day and have a nice 8th of March.
Bye!
Bye.
Goodbye!